Andrew, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, all right. It's 6 p.m., guys. We'll give it probably about 2 more minutes. Fred, can you tell me how many electeds we have on? I see the mayor is on, and I believe that's the only one.
I think I saw Woodrow on.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Oh, you got Vice Mayor Hay as well? Okay. We'll give it about 2 more minutes, guys, just to see who else is going to log on, and then we'll get started.
Can you guys hear me? Am I coming through?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Loud and clear, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, Commissioner Kelly's on.
Hey, Commissioner Kelly.
Hi.
Assume everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys just because this puppy's acting up, but I'll unmute or raise my hand when necessary. Dan, did you see my video text I sent you yesterday about what was going on outside of Leisureville in the morning? It was like 3:15 in the morning with the big lights. And
Oh,
like
yes. Did anyone respond to you in reference to that, Mayor?
no, not yet, but I was just I guess it happened like 2 weeks ago and they did call me about that, but then I thought it was just done and then it started again. But it's right out front of the units that are facing, their door would be facing Congress, obviously. So 3:15 in the morning has been busy, but at least most of those people are gone now.
Yeah, I want to say it was some, we knew the answer to it. I just got to get it to you. I know I spoke with Andrew about it. And Andrew, do you remember what work was being done?
Right?
I think it was FP&L. Yeah, that's what it was, but I'll get you an answer.
I think they thought they were being abducted. Did you see the video? It looked like aliens coming down into the sky.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Andrew, can you scroll down for me? So moving forward, what I want to say is, and I think the mayor's in agreement here, is we get an immense request for proclamations, so we try to pare it down in the need for brevity whenever we're doing these commission meetings. So I know, Mayor, I believe you did the Haitian proclamation today, the Haitian Flag Day proclamation, at 1:45. So we put 2 on. One I know which has immense importance to the Vice Mayor is Mental Health Awareness and Trauma Informed Care Month, and then also our National Police Week and Peace Officer Memorial Day. So those are the 2 that we're going to be presenting at the meeting itself. We'll do our annual presentation by Liz Martin of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. We're closing in, and I believe Angel, she got with you, Mayor, as far as scheduling both the parliamentary school and also the Commission on Ethics presentation by Rhonda Geiger, who's a special counsel with the Commission on Ethics. So I want to say we're kind of
last Saturday in May, I believe.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Mayor. The last Saturday in May. So we're definitely moving forward to resolution on that, which is a good thing. 5, Andrew, go ahead and scroll down for me. A point now, this is a thing we got back from the TPA. So I know originally we had 2 alternates. So if you guys would like to mention who you'd like the alternate to be, either Commissioner Turkin or Commissioner Cruz, that's the only direction. We can't have two alternates though. So we got correspondence back from the TPA saying that they only one alternate for the city.
Perkin was the first alternate, right?
Correct.
Meeting
And
virtually?
Commissioner Cruz was the second alternate.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
usually
go.
they don't allow, I knew that. I kind of said it at the meeting, but I knew they don't allow more than one alternate. I still want to keep the alternate position if possible. I was on the board for 3 years, so that's kind of where I stand.
What I do, when I want to attend, I attend. There's nothing prohibits you from attending
Yeah.
and having something
No,
to
but
say.
it's different. It's different attending than like being on the board as an alternate. Attending is like you attend as a member of the public.
Well, we don't have to decide that tonight.
No,
No.
not at all. I
So
think that's better to be
we're-
discussed at the actual commission meeting, Vice
Exactly,
Mayor.
exactly,
And we can get some resolution on that issue as well. So,
right.
community support funds for Mayor Shelton. You don't need to open that, Andrew. Just open the advisory board appointments. I'm not sure how many we have there.
We had the Board of Adjustments and Appeals and
We got two, it looks like.
Senior
Monique
Advisory
Bodden is
Board.
yeah, and the senior advisory board, Monique is the only applicant. So
and
I think if
then,
we
We
only
can take me off of that, right? Because I resigned from the senior advisory board.
You have been removed, Mayor.
you've been removed, Mayor.
Cool. Thank
I
you.
got your resignation. We got your resignation and we took you off of the list and that's why there is the regular vacancy now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Still on prom duty from what I found out today, so I'm excited about that.
All right. Going through consent agenda. The first one's going to be authority to grant the mayor or city manager sign minor development applications, major development applications, building permit applications, and associated forms. Is Amanda on, or either Adam?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, this item is largely administrative. This allows the signature authority to go to the mayor or the city manager to sign documents for submittal for building permits. The city's not exempt from getting building permits. So when we need to do things like dumpster enclosures, we need someone from the city to sign it. This allows either the city manager or the mayor to do so. And it also allows them to sign development applications. This isn't an approval, it's just a submittal. So for example, we're looking at making changes to Pence Park. We need someone to sign that application for it to be able to go through the DART process and come to City Commission.
Okay,
All right. So moving on to 6B. This is going to be approve a task order number with GHD Services, conduct a living shoreline assessment in the amount not to exceed $59,000. This is a vendor to assess our flood, and this has to do with the mangroves along JC Park, and there's two other locations. Andrew, do you remember which ones they are? I think it's Intercoastal Park and
in Mangrove Park, the 3 locations that we have potential where we could do the project.
Okay.
Can you specify what living shoreline assessment means?
So we were awarded a grant from, I believe it was DP. Alana, are you on? This is
Yes, I'm
Alana's
here.
project. Why don't you explain? I know
here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's pre-work related to the grant that we were awarded from DEP, just to assess pretty much the geology and the makeup of the shorelines at the 3 proposed locations for the project to make sure that we're installing the right kind of infrastructure for that project. So living shorelines are basically like hybrids of green infrastructure, like trees and plants and all that stuff. Plus, if we need to, the traditional like seawall or other type of traditional infrastructure that would go for flood resilience. So we need to do a survey just to make sure that we're putting the right type of infrastructure there before we start the project.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to 6C, guys. This is just our, we went out to RFP. These are the two tow companies that we're going to be using by rotation for both tow services for the city and also our storage. 6D, that's going to be approving and
Hold on,
authorizing.
I have a question about the towing stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that just like when cars get pulled over by the police, or is that when there's cars like on Seacrest for 3 weeks, or what does that encompass?
That would also be with our police department, with our public safety aides. What they'll do is
Okay.
they'll go and they'll tag the vehicles if if it's considered an abandoned vehicle. Then what they'll do is they'll just call the tow company by rotation. So essentially, you get an even market between both Becks and Coughs.
Okay, thank you.
6D is going to be approving and authorizing the assessment of recording nuisance abatement liens. I want to say we have 3 properties. This is just for the upkeep of those properties. Adam, if you want to add anything to this, you can. This is a normal thing that we see on a month-to-month basis with the city.
Nope, nothing to add.
Okay. Andrew, you can go out of that. I don't think it's needed to go through that. E is going to be with FDOT in reference to our July 4th celebration, which is coming up in a couple of months. So I'm sure Gabby and her be a really good time, like every year. 6F is going to be authorizing city application for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Drone Replacement Grant Program and ratifying the Drone Replacement Program Financial Assistance Agreement with FDLE. This is our drones. Adam, do you want to add anything to this item?
Yeah, this is different than the drone first responder that was approved a couple of meetings ago. This is for the drones that are out in the field, and essentially state law, those drones are non-compliant with state law that we currently have. So we are going to be surrendering those drones to FDLE, and they are going to be providing us a grant to replace those drones.
All right, moving on, Andrew.
Dan, can I ask one quick question?
Yeah, sure.
So Adam, so the grant is gonna fully reimburse us for what we paid for these drones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did we buy them before a law went into effect that made them then
Yes.
not able to be used, or were they purchased?
That's my understanding. Chief DeJulio is on. He can confirm that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can add a little bit more to that. So
Thanks,
prior
Jim.
to 2022, there were no restrictions on the type of drones you can use in the state of Florida for a government entity. Most departments use one particular type of drone, and then in January of 2022, the state came down with the updated on the Florida state statute, basically putting them on, the lack of a better word, a no-fly list. So we did have 2 drones way back then prior to 2022 that were under that no-fly list, which is what the grant's going to reimburse us for. Most recently, within the last 2 years, when we did the first iteration of the drone program that we got approved from the commission, those drones are still in service. Those are from a company called Skydio. They are not the ones that are included in the FDLE buyback.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Chief, are we talking about two drones? Is that what I heard you say? In terms of
Yeah.
number? Okay.
Yeah, correct. There was 2 drones that were purchased, and it was prior to 2000. I believe the
22.
drones were purchased in 2000 and prior to 2022. I believe they were purchased in 2020, and we used them for more from the social media perspective than anything else. We weren't using it for what we use it now. So these are drones that were 5-6 years old.
Okay.
Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it. All right, so moving on, 6G. This is approve and purchase of additional services for general financial and rate consulting from Riper Water Analytics as a professional service acquired by PO in an aggregate amount of not to exceed $70,000. This is our water rate consultant, Ryan. He does both rate consultation with both public works and utilities, and this is just us essentially funding his work. 6H is going to be ratifying conflict of interest relating to Lewis, Longman, and Walker representing the South Central Regional Wastewater Treatment Board as general counsel. Because we're part of that board, they had to do a conflict of interest waiver in order to represent the SCREW board. So,
Yes,
Stacy?
we did it.
Oh.
We did it on the reversal at our meeting on Monday night. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. 6I.
And is there anything else we need to do as far as legal and the South Central wastewater treatment? You know, we got a new learning legal guy there. He just came on board at our last meeting. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything as a city, right? Except
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't. The city does not operate it. There's a joint program to operate it. So the actual facility and the board would handle all of that.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking, because it is a joint between the two cities. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Move on.
All right. Moving on, this is also going to be a legal issue. I don't know if you want to discuss it on the agenda or if you want to get with the commissioners one-on-one, Shauna, unless you already have.
No, I have not. And I apologize. We do have a settlement for $150,000 regarding a claim, and I can discuss that individually with each commissioner if you're interested. It does stem from a police matter. So this is a good settlement, being that we weren't capped. But if anyone, you all have my number, so anytime you want to call me, whether it's tomorrow or during the weekend or before the meeting, I'll be happy to discuss that with you.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Adam, I believe this is the art one?
Yep, I can cover this one.
Okay.
This is the resolution that allows us to negotiate with the two top ranked bidders for the RFP for the public art master plan that we briefly talked about at the last meeting. So we have two finalists that have selected. We will start negotiations with the top ranked one, and if things do not pan out, we will move to the second ranked one.
Moving on to K, this is going to be just ratifying the city's application for the Attorney General Bureau of Advocacy Grants Management Victims of Crime VOCA grant. This is an annual one we do every single year. I just signed off on it. So, and I want to say it's $100,000. Is that correct, Adam?
Correct. This
grant.
And if we're successful, so currently we have one full-time city-funded victim advocate. And with this funding, we will be able to hire a second victim advocate position.
And victim advocates, obviously, they handle crisis situations, domestic violence victims. They handle any sort of sexual battery victims, things of that nature. Moving on to 7A. This is going to be approving a sole source agreement with CROM Coatings and Restorations, a division of CROM, for drinking water and storage tank inspections, repair services as needed. And this is not to exceed $350,000 annually. Obviously, this is for our water tanks at our treatment centers to provide clean water to the residents. So you guys have any questions, again, this is a sole source agreement. 7B. This is going to be the re-roofing, waterproofing, and painting for Fire Station 5, and this is going to be not to exceed $449,000. So, and that's already been encumbered within our CIP. 7C. Andrew, you want to take 7C?
Sure. This is an amendment to our approval from DEP. They provided us with a state revolving loan fund to do the design of the treatment plant out west. And when we initially
Andrew, we lost you, buddy.
We lost you.
We lost you.
I think he actually dropped. I think we dropped Andrew.
I can,
I can see him, but
yeah, if you want, Dan, I can talk about it. This is Poonam Kalkat.
Okay, yeah, please, Dr.
Yeah.
Calcott, go ahead, continue.
So basically, we had asked for $5.4 million for that SRF loan for evaluation and start the process for designing the plants and evaluating both plants for emerging contaminants. So DEP had given us around $5.2 million initially to the SRF loan. So they are now adding the $232,821 for the 5.4 we had asked, and also it's giving us an extension, 1-year extension to finish this first portion of it. If there are any other questions, I can answer those.
Dan, we just completely lost Andrew with the agenda and everything, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up on mine. Give me a second, everyone. I'm gonna log into my browser and bring up the agenda.
In the meantime, Poonam, can I know there's been a lot. I know that it looks like the bill that contains the fluoride is heading to the governor's desk, my understanding. What are we, because as I understand it, we were in the process of ordering parts to fix that part of the system. What are we doing now that looks like it's gonna,
Hey, Fred, we're getting a echo. Can you take care of that for me, please? In a second, everyone. I'm gonna log into my browser and bring up the agenda.
So
in the meantime,
somebody must be watching the.
Poonam, can I?
Somebody must
Yeah,
be
I
looking
can,
at the website.
Commissioner Kelly, I can talk to that. Basically, we had started fixing the East Plant's fluoride treatment, and we were getting very close to, we had finished it, but we hadn't bought the chemicals and not started it. So when this legislation started going forward, we kind of halted that process to wait and see what happened. So we didn't buy the chemicals.
Guys, well, we're getting two different audio feeds.
Dan, are you looking at the agenda on the website?
Yes, sir.
That's why. Somebody must be watching the.
Hold on, I'll close out.
Yeah, I didn't hear double people.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I lost
I didn't
internet.
either. It's clear on my end.
Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't just me. It's like, I'm not hearing double people.
So, so hopefully I answered that question.
Yes.
So we halted the process
Okay.
before we bought the chemical and started doing the project at the West Plant. So right now we are just waiting. If the legislature goes through and says that no fluoride can be added, then
Right.
we'll stop the projects there. If they say we should be adding, then we'll go back and restart.
Okay, how much have we spent on those repairs at this point?
So I think I'll have to go back and give you an exact number, but we did have a little bit of, I think there was a DEP grant to help with that. But I can get you those numbers tomorrow morning for sure.
Okay, that's fine. No rush. We can talk about it. I'm sure it'll come up again once we have some answers on that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Andrew, are you back on?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so we just did C7D. This is going to be our comp plan review, and this is requested by Commissioner Cruz. So if you have any questions, Commissioner Cruz, in reference to this item, both Amanda and Adam are online.
I'll have to read the attachment and then connect with them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is the award of the RFP. So Chedmore and Associates was selected, and this is the start to award them, so we can start the process and schedule our kickoff meeting.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. And both of these are second readings. I know one of them was Commissioner Turkin's item. He wanted to talk about specifically turf. And I want to say, Adam, what was the amendment that we did to item 8A?
I can cover that also. So
Okay.
the one amendment that was requested at first reading was that we change the 800 square feet to the 1,000 square feet for the minimums for the turf. So that amendment was already incorporated into the ordinance and the exhibit for second reading. Everything else stayed the same.
And 8B is going to be also Amanda's item?
Yes, sir. So 8B are the amendments to the art, the ones that are targeting 3 specific areas. We have made no changes to art, to the art amendment. However, I did add one slide to the presentation for the commission to discuss. One of the things that we heard from the commission and both the public at first reading is that there's a little bit of a fear of abuse of this, that this is going to pay for landscaping and all of these other things. So that slide gives the commission a chance to decide if you guys would like us to incorporate some language for limitations also. Essentially, it says that the public art fund, and this is always has been the intent, but can't be used for by purchasing landscape materials and code required elements such as benches, trash cans, lighting, anything that's code required cannot be part of your public art fund. And that language is not clarified in the ordinance right now. So if the commission chooses to, you can ask us to add that language to the amendment once a motion is made for its approval or not.
Yeah, I like that thank you, Amanda, for suggesting that, we can add that to just kind of clarify that
Yeah.
this isn't just going to be a landscape free for all,
Yeah.
that's not.
And one of the things that I also wanted to mention specifically about landscaping is one of the amendments that we made last year actually created a tree trust fund that we are getting funds into. So if city projects need funding for trees, there are some funds in those accounts that can offset that, but it is not the intent for the art fund to be our tree fund.
Great. No, I like that. We might need to tap into that tree fund soon. Hopefully.
Yes, ma'am. I will tomorrow morning. I'll check how much is in there.
Thanks, Amanda.
All right, scroll down, Andrew, for me. All right, so now we're moving on to 10A, and this is going to be a Stacy item. Stacy, are you on?
It's me. I got it, Shauna.
Okay.
The general employees pension plan, we received a request from Bonnie Jensen, and this is a request from the General Employees Pension Fund Board that we had some codified policies, and then because the market changes so quickly, it's really hard if we have a hard and set policy. So what they want, that's codified. So what they want to do is they're going to create a policy that is a little bit more fluid so that the general employees fund can more easily maneuver the market. So these were their recommended changes.
Thank you, Shauna. You want to go over 10B?
Yes. So this came at the direction of the board. This is language which essentially allows you to waive certain items with regard to board or advisory boards or committee members with regard to how long they serve. We can waive certain qualifications. We can extend their terms. We can also authorize someone who doesn't work in the city when there's difficulty finding qualified people for those boards. So this will be first reading. Any questions on that? The item number C, there was a case law that came out of the 11th Circuit Federal Court. The 11th Circuit is over the state of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and those states. And this was relating to conversion therapy. And a lot of municipalities banned that. Well, the federal court in the 11th Circuit determined that that affected a therapist's First Amendment right to free speech, and those were unconstitutional. So this is just a cleanup as Stacy and I go more and more through the ordinances. As we're catching things, we're trying to clean it up. So this is an unconstitutional ordinance that has to be repealed, and that's what this does. With regard to item number D, again, this is some cleanup. We looked at the drug-free workplace that was codified back in 1993, and it does not comply with Florida law. In fact, it doesn't even cite the correct statutes. So we looked at what some other cities do with regard to drug-free workplace. And because it is also based on Florida law and federal law, but mostly Florida law, it's not really appropriate to have it codified. It's usually a policy, and the policy simply adopts what the state statute is. So what we're proposing to do is to repeal the drug-free workplace in the charter, make it part of the employee handbook. Now, there was, I believe in 2023, an ordinance to change from personal policy manual, as that was referenced in the code, to employee handbook. However, that apparently was never codified. So we're going back through and we're just clarifying that it needs to be employee handbook. And then also we're making reference to adopting the drug-free workplace policy there. So this is, again, just more cleanup, as we'll start to see as we move forward. Are there any questions about that? Okay.
No, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Shauna.
you, Shauna, and your legal team for all of your hard work in trying to update these things that have been on the books wrong since 1993. So thank you.
Thanks.
So we're going to moving on to 10E, Capital Improvement Plan Quarterly Project. Rick Hoffer, our CIP director, he's going to be going over that. And any sort of questions you guys have. I know you got a overview of this year's CIP projects for 2024. This is going to be going over 2025. 10F, this is going to be another item requested by Commissioner Turkin in reference to the campaign filing fees, signs, bonds, and petitions. And this is going to be a kind of a final direction for our staff with which way we want to go with some of the items that both the mayor and Commissioner Turkin have brought up. So
I did just want to mention, if the board would like to go ahead and look at that item, not at this moment, but Stacy actually prepared a proposed ordinance and what that would look like. And you could see even the areas that we have questions, there's just a blank there. So if you actually go down, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, the actual sample ordinance. I'm sorry, go back one. Oh, this is it. Okay, go down. Are you sure? Okay. I'm sorry, scroll down, please. Yeah. So as you see, we're going through here in section B, we just need to know what we want to make the actual numbers, and we can put that in. But we have a PowerPoint presentation, so we've prepared the ordinance, so we're ready to move that forward. I don't know if it's something you guys wanted to address tonight. We might actually be able to make it a first reading, or if we can just wait until everybody is here to come up with those final numbers, especially since it was Commissioner Turkin's item.
We don't have any upcoming elections, so we got time on this item. So I don't think we need to go into detail tonight.
Okay.
Well, and if Commissioner Turkin's not on here, then we can wait until Tuesday. So.
Do you guys have any questions for us before we adjourn?
No.
Nope.
No,
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Vice Mayor, did you have something?
no, I do not at this time.
All right.
Oh,
thanks.
Dan, hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have, are we doing another joint CRA commission meeting this month?
I would rather not do it this month. I want to kind of get some things ironed out before
Well, then
we
it
do
won't be
do it.
until July because we're not having a meeting in June.
Right, because I
Or
wanna
maybe
get
we can
We're
do it at
not?
maybe we can do it on the second meeting
There-
in May.
There's a couple of things that I want to kind of get some more clarity on before we go forward with another meeting. One, I want to get more clarity on the CRA bills that are currently in the session. I know that
Right.
the correspondence I got today from Tallahassee was that the sessions were going to be delayed by some of the issues that they're going through as far as tax proposals.
Yeah.
And then I also have a project that I'm meeting with a few of you guys on one-on-one that I want to get a little bit more clarity on as well. So I'd like to push that to maybe July if we can.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Not to cut you off, I did have to mention, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Commissioner Kelly, but I have to request a shade meeting on 2 items. One is the E2L litigation, and in speaking with Catherine Rossmel, our thought process is to do that shade meeting with regarded to the E2L appeal on before the CRA meeting on May 13th. And then we need to have a discussion regarding Mark Stone. And I was hoping we could do that on May 20th. So those requests will be coming. And both of those are a little time sensitive. And I don't want to do 2 shade meetings on one night because I think that'll really delay the commission meeting too much.
Okay.
So I will be bringing that up on Tuesday.
Okay. When does this, I mean, I guess we're good as far as timing, as far as noticing a shade meeting before the CRA with only a week notice?
Yes.
Okay.
I just thought that would be convenient because Catherine will need to be there for that, and she's already there for the CRA.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything before we adjourn? Going
No.
once, going
No.
twice. All right,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
No.
Thank
Yep.
you, guys. Thank you, staff.
Have a
Yep.
good night.
Thanks,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Yep.
Good
Have a good
night.
night.
Good night.
I guess